Hey boys and girls, meeting with you today from a kind of a weird spot, my car. Today has been a day. Have you ever heard your mom and dad say they feel like they live in their car? That's what I'm feeling like. It's what I've been feeling like for a while. And I don't mean I live in my car. I mean, I have a house, but I just feel like I'm always in my car. I feel like I'm driving this child to that place and this child to that place and driving to work and driving to the grocery store and driving. Today's a stressful day, friends. So I'm happy to be meeting with you. Happy to be talking to you about one of my favorite people in the whole world, Jesus. But I have to be truthful and tell you there's a million things going on today. There is work. There is kids. There is this. There is things later tonight. I want to hang out with my friends. And most importantly, I just want to take some time by myself. Problem is, every time I take some time by myself, one of two things happen. I either sit down and slow down and think about all the things I should be doing right now, or I fall asleep. So that doesn't work. I just wish I knew how to deal with all the stuff that's happening right now. Do you guys feel like that? Do you feel like you're so busy? You've got VBS. You want to hang out with your friends. Maybe you want to go to the swimming pool. You have to go places, but mom and dad tell you have to put a mask on your face. Everything is so confusing right now. I feel it. I feel it too. So what if we do this? Let's ask some experts. Let's ask them how they deal with the stress in their life. We talked to some of the pastors and the staff of the church. Let's see what their advice is.
What happens when you feel stressed? What do you do about it?
A lot of times I get grumpy and I get impatient, and sometimes I take it out on those who are closest to me. And a lot of times I try to escape by watching lots of Netflix and TVs and try not to think about it.
How do you handle things when they are hard?
I eat popcorn a lot.
When I'm stressed out, I like to just veg. I like to watch movies or TV. Sometimes I'll exercise just to get my frustration out.
Sounds like they handle stress kind of like I handle stress. Not always the best way. So let's see what the Bible says about it. Let's see what Jesus did. I'm reading from Hebrews 5:7. It says, during this time that Jesus lived on earth, he prayed and asked God with loud cries and tears. Jesus' prayer was to God, who was able to save him from death. God heard Christ because Christ honored God. Whoa. So we already learned earlier in the week that Jesus cried. He showed compassion to his friends. And because of that, he cried because he felt their pain. But I don't think that's the crying that they're talking about in this passage. And what are they talking about saving him from death? I've cried about a lot of things. I've cried because I'm stressed. I've cried because I'm sad. I've cried because other people are sad. But I've never cried because I knew I was going to die. That's a big cry. In fact, the verse talks about how Jesus cried and wept and worried so much that he actually bled. That's intense worrying. And why was he worrying so much? Well, let me tell you the background of the story. Do you remember the worship team saying that superheroes sometimes have private and special places they go to? Like the Bat Cave. Or, in Superman's case, the Fortress of Solitude. Places where they could go and be alone and think because they were constantly saving the world and they just needed a place to go. Well, friends, that's where we find our story today. Jesus is in the garden and he's there to pray. He knows what's going to be asked of him. Spoiler alert, he's asked to die to save us. And I think that would be a lot of stress. And Jesus shows us that it was. He cried, he wept, he sweat blood. And what did he do to deal with this stress? He went off by himself and he prayed. Now, what do you think happened with all of his friends while he was praying? Well, unfortunately, they showed that they were pretty human. And just like me, when I have a few minutes to myself, what did they do? They slept. And Jesus got angry. He was like, don't you understand what's going on? All I need for you to do is stay awake. Stay awake so that I can pray. But the disciples couldn't. Just like my kiddos sometimes can't help me when I'm stressed, and even though they want to, and even though they want to give me love and hugs and kisses, sometimes it's not enough. Sometimes they don't even recognize when I'm stressed. And that's what was happening in this story. Jesus' friends didn't recognize or know what was truly going to be asked of him. And Jesus was wrestling with this all by himself. Boys and girls, is there something you're wrestling with today? Is there something you're being asked to do that just seems really hard? Maybe it's having to wear a mask when you go places. Maybe a friend is moving away and you're struggling with that they're only going to be there for another week. Maybe you're already thinking ahead to back to school and you're scared of what's going to happen. Well, friends, Jesus was there too. And let's see what happened in the story. We know what happened from the disciples' standpoint. They fell asleep. But what was really happening with Jesus? And because Jesus is a superhero, let's compare it to other superheroes. Let's see what happens when Superman, who also was from another world and came here to save us, well, did he? I don't know. I don't know that part of the story. I don't know what it was like when Superman went into the Fortress of Solitude. And I don't know what it was like when Jesus prayed to his Father all by himself. I wish there was a way we could find that out.
Father, I miss you and I wish you were here.
I am always with you, son.
But I'm so far from home. There's no one else like me here.
We sent you here so that you would be saved.
This is so hard. I don't think I can do this on my own.
Earth's Son will give you power. Embrace that power to do good in the world.
Is there no one else who can do this?
You are the last son of Krypton. You are the only one.
I'm the last son. You are gone. I speak to you only through my dreams and in this place of my memories. Father, I miss you and wish you were here.
I am always with you, son.
But I long for heaven. I grow tired. It hurts me to be separated from you.
I sent you to save the world.
This is so hard. I don't know if I can do this alone. My strength grows dim.
You are the son. You have all my powers. What is being asked of you is the only way to save them.
But is there anyone else who could do this?
You are the only way my children can come to me. You will need to carry the burden of their sin.
What is being asked of me is so great. How do I do this without you?
Son, I am always here with you. I will remain in you. I will send my angels to comfort you. Find your strength in me. I will give you your power.
Wow, guys, that was a cool story. Superman got a chance to talk to Jor-El, and Jesus got a chance to talk to God. But boys and girls, I don't know about you, but I spotted some major differences between those stories. First off, Jor-El wasn't really there. We find out at the end Superman was just talking to his memory. But God was. God was right there with Jesus. And God's with us. He's the unseen. What did Jesus ask for? He asked that it could be taken away. And what did God say? I'm going to give you my power. God recharged Jesus with his power. Let's talk about Superman. He needed to be powered up too. What did he count on to be powered up? It wasn't God. It wasn't the Holy Spirit. It was the sun. I like the sun, but I don't think it can power me up the way I need it today. In fact, it's getting pretty hot in here. So I think I need a different way to power up. What else did we hear was different? Superman came here to be saved from his planet, which was going to blow up or something crazy that happens in comic books. But Jesus came from the most perfect place to come here to save us. I think if Jesus, the greatest superhero who ever lived, knew that he needed to take time to be with God, maybe there's something there. Maybe me trying to find all these ways to recharge myself is never going to work. Maybe the truth is I need to go to God and I need to ask him for his power and him to come in and show me what's important and give me the power to get through my day and give me the power to do what is right even when I don't have the time or feel like it's just too much that's being asked of me. Let's check back in with our pastors and see what they learned from this story.
Now that you know how Jesus handled stress, what are you going to do?
Yeah, I think I need to go out to the pond and hang out with God and spend some time in peace and quiet with him. See ya.
I'm gonna spend some time with my papa now.
What does encounter time look like in your life?
So when I am feeling stressed and I want God to meet my needs, or I recognize that I'm in that bad place, my favorite place to go with God is in the woods. And so I go by myself to my private place that no one's usually ever there, and I hike and I walk, and a lot of times I talk and pray with God. I'll sit on a log or find a nice quiet spot and I'll be quiet. And sometimes I pray, sometimes I listen, and sometimes I just sit there. And I find that when I do that, God's peace comes, his clarity comes, and he gives me what I need for that moment.
I agree with the pastors. I had to make a change. I got out of my car, came to one of my favorite spots with one of my favorite people. And I'm just going to take some time and listen for God. And I'm going to ask him to help recharge me, to give me the power. I'm going to take time, and I'm not going to sleep, and I'm not going to worry. I'm just going to pray, and I'm going to listen. I'm going to have an encounter with God. Would you like to have an encounter with me? Miss Erica, will you help us? Will you lead us in encounter time?